Welcome to Semple Stadium for the first of the Tipperary Senior Hurling Championship semi-finals. It's Kiladangan, the current champions, against Thurles, I suppose the kingpins of Tipperary hurling for the last 10 years or so. We're expecting an absolute cracker here today. The sun has just come out. The pitch looks absolutely almost pool table like. It looks in brilliant condition. We're expecting a brilliant game here. One thing to tell you, I suppose, quickly before we get going, both teams would predominantly be wearing blue. There was a toss, it took place. Kiladangan lost the toss, the first thing they've lost in about 2 years, but they lost the toss, so they'll be wearing white. Thurles will be wearing their traditional blue. Kiladangan will be in white, so we'll keep an eye on that as the game goes on. We're joined today in the commentary box, delighted to be joined by the 2016 Tipperary Senior Hurling All-Ireland winning manager, Michael Ryan. Michael, what are you expecting from today's game?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Sure, look, this is the business end of the championship. We're expecting a cracker of a game here in Thurles today. These are, at the outset of the championship for this year, these two would have been hotly tipped, and I suppose they've been very impressive, both of them, in terms of their route through to the semi-final day today. Of the two, I think Thurles might have had the easier passage, or at least made the easiest work of their challenges along the way. But today, I think this is going to be a very even match. We're really hoping that this match lives up to the billing, that it'll be a cracker, and I expect it will.
Absolutely. Both teams are just in their kind of huddles about to get going here. They've been warming up. They were in Dr. Morris firstly, and now they're just down here getting in their huddle, getting the last bit of tactics. We'll quickly have a look at the teams before we get going. So Kiladangan, as we mentioned, are wearing white. They line now with Barry Hogan in goals. Dara Flannery, James Quigley and Fergal Hayes are the full back line. The half back line, which has been pretty dominant all year, but it has changed a little bit at the same time. Number 5 is Declan McGrath, 6 is Alan Flynn, and number 17 then David Sweeney, a man who was the team captain but hasn't managed to play a huge amount of minutes this year. He's in. They'll be delighted about that. We're in number 17. The midfield stays as it was the last couple of games. Willie Connors is 8 and Ty Gallagher is 9, and then we're moving into their dangerous forward line. Sean Hayes there, number 10, Joe Gallagher 11, and Billy Seymour, who found a net the last day out, at number 12. The inside forward line then is Dan O'Mara at 13, Paul Flynn is the full forward, and number 15 Brian Mallochny, who loves this place. Looking at Thurles then, their goalie Paddy McCormack. Full back line there, Paul Maher, Pádraig Maher and Joseph Ryan. Half back line is made up of David Corbett, Ronan Maher and Jack Darby. Their midfield is all the Cahills. Stephen Cahill is 8, Mickey Cahill is 9. And then moving into their half-forward line, Pa Burke, goal a game man. Didn't start the first day, but has scored a goal in every game since then. Centre forward is Conor Stakelum, and number 12 there is Aidan McCormack. And into their full-forward line there, we've number 21, Dara Stakelum is in. 13, Dara Stakelum is in instead of Shawnee Butler, I think, was meant to start, but Dara Stakelum anyway, number 21 is in there. Dennis Maher, the team captain, is at full forward, and Paddy Creedon, the man who did loads of damage here the last couple of times he's played in Semple Stadium, is number 15. So Michael, looking at what we just called out there, who would you be looking at? Who do you think is going to be the marquee player in the next 60 or so odd minutes?
Yeah, I think both teams, have a huge amount of talent right throughout their team. From goalie to number 15 on both teams. I mean, Kiladangan, just to start with them, having our inter-county goalie Barry Hogan in goals for those guys, would obviously give a huge amount of confidence to the team, and he sets up a huge amount of attacks from his puck outs. But right throughout their team, a lot of these guys have now their senior inter-county panelists with Tipp, James Quigley, Alan Flynn, Willie Connors, Billy Seymour, and Paul Flynn up front. So that's 5 of their team. That's a huge contingent of the team, and obviously Thurles are hugely backboned by Pádraig and Ronan Maher. But there's a lot of experience throughout that team, and multiple county final winners in that team as well. Stephen Cahill is probably one of their most important link men in their team, who's now back to full fitness, which he didn't have last year. So it's great to see him back and doing what he does best. And Mickey Cahill is out beside him in the middle of the field, which is bit unusual in itself, in that an established cornerback, halfback for years, but Mickey's loving the free spaces that and I suppose the bit of freedom it gives him. But it's up front that Thurles possessed probably the greatest danger. There's nobody more dangerous than a Thurles team in full flight, and we saw that here in game day 1 when they went after Drummond Inch very early on in the game and rattled in 4 goals. That's the threat they bring. Equally, they're coming up against today's county champions, or this reigning county champions, so all to play for.
We'll pause for the national anthem. And so we're ready to go here in Semple Stadium. Thurles are out in the field. They're in their positions. Kiladangan are still in their huddle, just getting the last little bit of information in there. I wonder how much Darragh Egan is involved in this. He's wearing 16 today, so officially he's the sub-goalie. He's also, of course, the Wexford senior hurling manager, so I imagine he's had plenty to say also in the build-up to today's game. So now Kiladangan are back out. Cater joining us late. They will be wearing white. They lost the toss. Both teams are predominantly blue, so one of them had to change. Kiladangan now going into position. Both teams coming into this season with a 100% record. Both topped their group and both came through their groups relatively easy. Thurles probably put up a bigger score, but Kiladangan, while only winning a couple of their games by 2 points, were never really in too much bother. And the ball is thrown in and we're underway here. Straight away there's 5 or 6 of them fighting for it. The ball hasn't been won by anyone just yet, but it's Kiladangan who look to be on the attack here, but the ball just beats, I think it's Sean Hayes, out of play, and it's going to be a line ball to Thurles. So a fast, lively start. No one wants to give away at it early on. And we're going to have a line ball to Ronan Maher. Ronan now in between the 21 and the 45, just putting this up on a bit of a tee for himself. Thurles are playing into the breeze in this first half. Gets a lovely connection on that, knocks it up to the other 45, and Thurles are straight into possession here again to get it. Nice turn inside and out to 21. Stakelum, who was late, added to the team, but he has the ball now, but he's lost. He's been turned over there. Willie Connors does well. Willie stood him up, didn't let him go any further, and a good start to Kiladangan.
Yeah, good line ball there from Ronan, cut straight across the field, well collected by Darragh Stakelum, but just ran into a bit of traffic, and very important turnover for Kiladangan. They'll be happy to see that come to nothing.
And so it's Alan Flynn now going to take this line ball deep in his own half, puts that across into loads of space over there towards Paul Flynn. Paul Flynn out by the sideline on his left hand side, loads of time and space, tough angle, but he makes it look very easy. Good score. The two brothers combined well there.
Yeah, straight off the training ground, he seemed to get maybe 5 or 6 yards there on Paul Maher, so that's something I will certainly I won't be missed by the Thurles bench. They want to address that very quickly, not have it happen again.
So just over a minute and a half or so, or coming up on a minute and a half gone in this one, and it's Thurles who are down by a point. Kiladangan 1 point, Thurles no score, and now it's Ty Gallagher of Kiladangan, gives that inside. Not a very accurate pass though, goes as far as Corbett of Thurles. Corbett goes out to the side and plays a lovely ball into Stakelum. Darragh Stakelum, who's been prominent so far, lovely little no-look hand pass, gives it outside as far as Mickey Cahill. Mickey Cahill's up to the 45, plays inside to Conor Stakelum now. Conor Stakelum gets done for steps. He looked like he might have got a challenge there. The referee said too many steps, slightly harsh maybe, but at the same time they're the rules.
They certainly are, yeah, and in fairness to John McCormick, our ref here today, he was very well placed to get a look at that. To me, it did look a little bit harsh. He did have to change direction, and of course that swallowed up a step or two. So a very good start to this game from Kiladangan.
And here comes, it looks like somebody Flynn again to take this. They scored from a very similar position that he had a huge part in, dropping this around the 21, around the 14. It's gone to ground, but it's a Thurles man who comes away. It looks like big Paddy Maher. Paddy gives a little hand pass, which isn't accurate. It's well read there by Flynn. Flynn Wallery is a point today. He's over the tee, has some support, gives it outside as far as Billy Seymour. Billy Seymour's in over the 21, has to go back as far as Flynn. Flynn on his right hand side, and another good score. Flynn has been lively. He gives the fist pump, and Kiladangan are up to 2 points.
Yeah, that's a really good start for Kiladangan. Paddy Maher collected the ball down here in front of us, and probably in front of his own 21-yard line. Customary went around his man, but somebody got either a hand on his attempted hand pass away, and it broke down. Collected up very calmly, methodically by Kiladangan, recycled until they found somebody in a better position, and it's all Kiladangan at the moment.
And here comes Sean Hayes. Sean Hayes wins it. He's over the 45. Still Hayes. He's into the D. Still Hayes. Hayes over the 21. Hayes with his shot. Partial block comes in. Goes out for a 65. But how many times have we seen Sean Hayes get the ball, put on the afterburners, drive through? This time it doesn't result in a goal. It's a 65.
Yeah, look, that's the kind of thing. It's just a nightmare for any defenders. Is this forward that's going to constantly take you on? And we're well aware of Sean Hayes and the pace he has, but he certainly just took a straight line for goals, and it's just creates so many problems for the opposition.
Billy Seymour now is going to stand over the 65. He has won 29 in this year's championship, 27 of them coming from place balls. Here he comes Billy on the 65, fairly central. Billy looks up, Billy gets his account, and that's 3 points to no score in favour of Kiladangan.
Yeah, and you know what, the longer this championship has gone on, we've seen the importance of a free taker, and Billy Seymour made no mistake with that, and it will have a bearing in this game before it's over.
And now Michael Thurles on the attack here. It's just gone over the 45, gone to ground, and no one really has it just yet. Willie Connors is in there. There's about 6 or 7 players in there, and it's a Thurles man who comes away. He's driving forward. It's Stakelum shortens up in the grip of the Hurley. Is that going to sneak just inside the post? The umpires take a long look at it before putting up the white flag, and Thurles are off the mark.
Yeah, and it's exactly what they needed to do, and it's interesting that it fell to the youngest player on the pitch there, young Darragh Stakelum, only 18 years old, and a great talent, and he's had a good influence in this game already.
This game is absolutely helter-skelter. It's back down the field again. And it's Paul Flynn now inside his 45 of Kiladangan trying to get her up. But there's enough Thurles men back there. Paddy Maher is trying to get his backside into that, trying to get some leverage to lift that up. But over there, Billy Seymour is fighting for it as well on the far sideline inside the 45. This is all go so far inside the first 4 minutes. 3 points to 1 in favour of Kiladangan. Today's game is brought to you in association with Tipperary County Council's e-parking app and new telephone number. Now that ball is dropping in around the D. It's Thurles on the attack here. It's dropping in there. Couple of players fighting for it. But again, it's Dara Stakelin who has it. Dara who already has a point on the board. Out by the side and looks across to try and get a bit of support. Lovely diagonal ball across the field as far as Pa Burke. Pa Burke gets it on the second attempt. Burke knows this ground very well. Burke on his right hand side. He's only on 1 foot striking it. It doesn't have the power it's needed. And Barry Hogan does very well with that. Takes control and plays it out the field. But it looks like it's going to be a Thurles man who's going to get onto this. He's onto it very well in plenty of time and space. He gives it back. It was McCormack. McCormack gives that back as far as Ronan Maher. Ronan Maher launches that one. It's going to drop around the square. Who's up for it? It goes to ground, but it's well won back there by Flynn. Alan Flynn of Kiladangan now. Number 6 on his back. Goes back to his goalie, Barry Hogan. 5 minutes gone in this one. 3 points to 1 in favour of Kiladangan, the county champions. This one is dropping. Ronan Maher is under it. Actually hits off his helmet, goes through his hand, and it bounces dangerously. And Kiladangan are going to get onto this. It looks like it's Brian Malachney over there. Brian Malachney doesn't get it the first time though, and Thurles managed to work that out. And a free in and a bit of helter-skelter play, but there was maybe a chance of a score there for both teams.
Yeah, look, this is an all-action opening 6 minutes here that we're watching. It's literally end to end, and Thurles went with a long ball to the edge of the square, and we were expecting, Dennis Maher to get his hands on it, and it was tapped away as you'd expect any back to do. And who was waiting for it? Only Alan Flynn. He's been really, really good for Kiladangan this year, and that's something again that it's been a feature of the Kiladangan play, just finding their men and being calm with the ball.
So the ball has been pucked up and pucked down as we've been talking there, and it's dropping now between the two, the 45 and the 65, and it's Ronan Maher who has it in plenty of time and space. He fancies his chances here. He opens up the shoulder, takes his shot, but is it going to drop? It drops to the right and wide, and I think that might be their first wide of the game. Ronan fancies his chance. We've seen him score them, we've seen him miss them as well, but I suppose it was worth the effort.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a breeze running down into the town end, so it was always going to be an ambitious strike.
Now the ball is pucked out from the puck out. It skids off the top surface. I think it might have hit someone's helmet. It goes all the way in as far as Paddy McCormack in the Thurles goals, and he drops that between the 265s. A couple of players go up for it. It eventually hits the ground. Who pulls on that there? It looked like it was Conor Stakelin tried to get a pull on that, and Thurles have won the ball, and they've worked the ball inside to the attacking 45. They're onto it here through Paddy Crean. Paddy is dangerous. Paddy's inside the 21. Paddy shardens up the grip of the hurley, and he puts that over the bar. He has been lively. That's his first possession, but it's also his first point.
Yeah, and there was a half of a goal chance there. That ball broke and it was inside his man, and on another day he might have kept going, but I think he did exactly the right thing. Thurles needed a score to get themselves into this game and help them settle.
And Paddy is sharp. He is 4-9 coming into this game in the championship, so you can make that 4-10 now. He's absolutely flying it. And as we've talked about a few times on these broadcasts, will he stay with the footballers next year? It'll be interesting to see, or will he be called in to the hurling team? He's also quite young, so he's a big future ahead of him. Now the ball has worked its way out over the sideline on the far side of the field between the 265s, and it's going to be a line ball to Kiladangan. We expect as Willie Connors is going to take this one. Willie on the far side of the field, probably on the easier side for the 65 as they're out to take this one. There's something going on in the field down there. We're just going to take this now. The ball, it's not very well taken, unfortunately, from Willie's point of view, and it goes harmlessly in as far as Mickey Cahill. Mickey Cahill's all the way back in his own corner back position, and he launches that one down looking for Dara Stakelin, but it goes straight out of play, and it's going to be a line ball. Yeah,
just as that line ball for Kiladangan was being taken, Dan O'Mara, who's number 13 and is being marked by Paddy Maher, was literally out here at the between the 45 and the 65 yard line, taking Paddy Maher completely away from the Thurles square. So there's a little bit of a trend going on here, I would imagine, to keep Paddy Maher as far away from being effective as possible.
Well spotted there, Michael, and we'll keep an eye on that as the game goes on there, as Joe Galler of Kiladangan gives that one inside. And now, just as Michael suggested, Dan O'Mara is in all on his own on the edge of the square as Paul Flynn has it out by the 45. He's looking up. He doesn't decide to give that one into Dan this time, but he shoots himself. He was shooting over his shoulder out by the side. It wasn't an easy one. He scored one similar a few minutes ago, but that goes wide.
Yeah, and Paul will be very happy. He's been on a lot of plays already for Kiladangan, and I'm just also noticing that his hamstring is heavily bandaged. So we see how that manifests during the game. Obviously, he's a hugely important player for Kiladangan.
And it's Thurles on the attack here. They've worked the ball all the way in between the 21 and the 14, and they've won themselves a free. There's a couple of little things that happened there just to start up that attack. Paddy Maher came out of his own defence in full-back. Massive Paddy Maher Dan O'Mara tried to stand him up, but there was only one winner there. Paddy blew him out of the way, let the ball down inside, and Thurles have managed to win themselves a free inside the D in front of the goals, and one you'd expect Aidan McCormack to put this one over fairly easily to make it all square at 3 points apiece. Here he comes in front of the goals, low enough trajectory, and he puts that one over fairly easy. 3 points apiece here, 9.5 minutes or so gone in this one, and it has been end to end. It's been brilliant so far. As we mentioned, conditions are perfect, and we were expecting this to be good, and so far it has lived up to the billing. And that one is pucked out there by the Kiladangan goalie Barry Hogan. It's dropping down, it's dropping to a Thurles man. That Thurles man there looked like it was Corbett. Then he clears that outside as far as Mickey Cahill. Mickey Cahill again, he's looking inside for the big man inside. Not one of them manages to get it though, and it goes all the way in to Barry Hogan. Barry Hogan has a bit of time and space in the Kiladangan goal, and he drives that as far as he can. It's dropping down. Paddy Maher is watching that all day long, but it bounced out of his hand. Dan O'Mara is on there trying to collect the scraps, but it comes back to Paddy again, and Paddy puts that one down around the edge of the D again. Again, they're looking for their big men. Their big men haven't got it too many times yet, and on this occasion, again, Kiladangan come away with it. They've been calm back there. They've been cool. They're not county champions for nothing, and that one is dropped down inside. But again, it's both half-back lines seem to be on top at the moment. Neither forwards are getting the ball the first time it's knocked down there. And now it's Stephen Cahill of Thurles, back in his own 45, drops that one up. He's looking for Pa Burke, but Thurles are onto it here. Driving forward is Dennis Maher. Dennis is over to 14, trying to get a bit of space, takes his shot, pushes off his man, and puts that over the bar. There may have been a goal chance, but Dennis Maher, when he does get a bit of time and space, is dangerous.
Yeah, and we've been mentioning, quite a bit of ball has been put in there in front of Dennis on his marker, James Quigley, and they're both big men and they're both physical, and up to now, Dennis hasn't ended up getting his hands on any of that ball, but he'll be happy with that, and nothing like a score to get you into a game.
So 4 points to 3 in this one. 10 minutes and 50 seconds gone in this Tipperary Senior Hurling Championship first semi-final. And today's game on Tipp FM is brought to you in association with Tipperary County Council's new e-parking app and their new phone number 0818 065 004. So back in play here, and it's Ronan Maher on the far side of the field between the 45 and the 65, taking a sideline cut. It's a dangerous one. It's dropping in there, and Pa Burke is onto it, takes a lovely touch. Pa is down over by the corner flag. He's inside the 14, goes back, gets a lovely bit of support, plays it back as far as Stephen Cahill. Stephen Cahill on his left hand side. The crowd like that one. Stephen likes that. The umpires like that, and that's a score. 5 points to 3 to Thurles.
Yeah, and that's that's really, those kind of scores come from a great understanding, and two players that have been part of the Thurles team for a long time, and know what to expect from each other. But very well taken. That wasn't an easy pass from Pa Burke across to Stephen Cahill, and he made it look very, very easy, and a very important score for Thurles.
Kiladangan goes short of the puck out, but the pass is blocked out, and it's right in favour of Dennis Maher again. Dennis Maher about 30 yards out from goal. Dennis has 2 men on him. They're trying to hook him, they're trying to block him. They do enough because he takes the shot and it goes harmlessly wide, but Kiladangan living on their edge there. That short puck out didn't work.
Yeah, and that's the danger with them. If they break down, you've and a turnover in that area of the field, it's almost worth a score, or 2 scores to the opposition. It really is a big thing to achieve. Dennis Maher was well hooked then by Dara Flannery, so the backs seem to be doing their job here at the moment.
They went very long with that puck out, but unfortunately it's the same result for Kiladangan. Thurles are now back on the attack. The ball is in around the 14, the attacking 14 from a Thurles point of view, but it's a Kiladangan man who comes away with it. At the moment, they just can't win their own puck out, so they're struggling a small bit, but they've won the ball now, and they've pucked it down around the 45, but again, it's a Thurles man who's back there. That man, of course, is Paddy Maher. He's been a bit of an anchor now all through the first 11 or 12 minutes or so of this game. Gives it over to the brother Ronan. Ronan hand passes that out 5 stars David Corbett. Corbett about 47 yards out from his own goal. Kind of Gary owns that one up. It's going to drop around the 14, the attacking 14. Who's in there? It looks like Paddy Creedon is trying to get something on that, but it's gone to ground now. Paddy has it. He has 2 players around him. Feeds it out. Dennis Maher on the 14. The turn, the shot, the no-look shot. It was well saved by Barry Hogan. The height was nice for him, but Dennis Maher didn't even see the goal. Turned and managed to get an accurate shot in it.
Yeah, and he did really well to get that shot away. It looked like he was contorting his body into terrible shapes there trying to get that shot away, but very well saved on the line by Barry Hogan. But it's developing into a little bit of a pattern here. It seems that any of that long ball that Kiladangan are hitting down the field has been swallowed up by Paddy Maher and the rest of his backs back there. And whereas in the beginning it was helter-skelter and they were being very much moved out of position, but I think if they continue to play route one puck outs down or long ball down on top of Paddy Maher and Ronan, they'll get very little change.
So it's a 65 now to Aidan McCormack. He has one already from a place ball. This one looks like it's heading to the right and wide. The umpires made that decision good and early. They won't be happy with that. I think that's possibly their third wide of the game. 13 minutes, coming up on 14 minutes gone in this one. It's 5 points to Thurles Sarsfields. It's 3 points to Kiladangan. And that one is pucked down again. And it's Kiladangan are on the attack. It looked like Sean Hayes. He did a good run there a few minutes ago. He's after picking up the ball here again. Lovely vision inside. Gives it inside. Very tight gather. The pass is just slightly overhit. And Thurles managed to retrieve the possession back inside their own 45. And again, they're hitting a long ball up the field. The long ball up looking for any one of their attackers up there can get it. It looks like it's Pat Burke who might be on to gives it out to Dennis Maher. Dennis Maher who's been lively as well. Now Burke has it out around the 45 on the far side of the field on the sideline on one leg. Has this shot and that one goes over. Good score from Pat Burke. He has been lively and he's got his first score today.
Yeah, he's certainly had his hands on plenty of ball in the start of this match, but he'll be delighted with that because that's his first score and a really good score from play.
6 points to 3, 14 and a half minutes gone in this one. 6 points to Thurles, 3 points to Kiladangan. And the ball again is pucked down. Again, it's a long one. Again, it's between the 45 and the 21. The attack inside of the field from a Kiladangan point of view. They haven't got a score or even an attack for a while. Thurles have really turned on the style in the last few minutes. None more so than Paddy Maher. And he wins that one and he drives it. It's dropping around the D. It's bouncing dangerously. No one has possession of it just yet. Thurles seem to outnumber the Kiladangan players back there. And now it's Paddy Creedon. Creedon turns. Creedon shoots on his left hand side inside the D. Paddy turned there like an old gate in some ways it might have looked like, but they couldn't stop him. Over the bar. Good score from Paddy.
Yeah, it certainly looked like he took his time getting turned, but he certainly did it very well. And nobody was near him. Nobody was near him for when he turned, and he got a free strike away, and that's his second of the day. So that's 2 from play for Paddy Creedon.
So we just hear the whistle there for the water break on about 15 and a half minutes or so. Today's game is brought to you in association with Tipperary County Council's e-parking app and new number 0818 065 004. So, Michael, yeah, as we said, it was very lively at the start. It's calmed down slightly bit, and maybe Thurles are getting on top. What are your thoughts of that first quarter?
Yeah, no, the opening 5 minutes of this match, it was all of Kiladangan. Now it was helter skelter from both sides. It was brilliant for us to watch here. But in terms of getting away, Kiladangan opened up, I'd say, with probably three scores to 1. I'm not sure if that is exactly right, but definitely the last 5, 6, 7 minutes has been a kind of a better period for Thurles, and they've settled down and they've certainly settled at the back. But you look, for anybody out there, it's a fool's errand to keep hitting long high ball down on top of Ronan Mara and Paddy Mara. I'm sure they're not doing it deliberately. And I was pointing out earlier on, Dan O'Mara and was pulling out Paddy Mara out here, but to literally no man's land, and no defender wants to be out there when the attack might be in the square. They need to keep doing what they were doing in the beginning, because if Thurles Sarsfields get into a rhythm and a pattern and open up a 5, 6, 7 point lead, they won't be pulled. Simple as that.
It looks like we just saw a glimpse of Sean Hayes and what he can do. How do they get the ball more to him? How do they get the ball into the game a little bit more?
Yeah, and you know what? These are the very small lines that, because there was a diagonal ball put across there, and Mickey Cahill came back from midfield to take it between the 45 and 21 yard line, and if it wasn't Mickey Cahill, that was a complete opening for Kiladangan. So they certainly can open up Thurles, but they just need to, I think they should be, it's the getting their hands on the possession is the challenge, and maybe they should persist a little bit more with the shorter ball.
Interesting thoughts there of Michael Ryan, and that's the end of the water break. So we're about to get going here with quarter 2, and the ball is in the hands of Kiladangan goalie Barry Hogan. Barry is looking for a runner. He goes short with this one, short and accurate, though. Willie Connors comes to the 45 and claims that one. This is one they might have worked on in the water break. This one is sent down. Again, it's over Ronan Maher. Ronan Maher actually does very well, and he managed to get that, grabs it out of the sky, and then feeds it up to midfield to the Cahills. Stephen Cahill then gives it back as far as Mickey Cahill gives it to Stephen Cahill. Man, now Stephen is driving forward. Stephen already has a point. He's over the 65, feeds that outside, and Thurles are still on the attack, driving forward here to Connor Stakelum. Stakelum has the ball on the hurley. He's driving forward. The shot comes in, and it's gone over the bar. And Michael, I think you spotted something there off the ball, but a good score there by Connor Stakelum.
Yeah, no, nothing off the ball at all, other than David Sweeney, who we were just commenting on before the match started, was getting his first start of the day. Definitely pulled a hamstring or something sinister anyway, while chasing Connor Stakelum there, and it's a pity to see that. It's 16 minutes in, and David is a brilliant warrior for Kiladangan and has suffered more than most now in terms of injuries. So we were delighted to see him back, and obviously you can see what he means to Kiladangan captain.
So yeah, he's down receiving a bit of attention at the moment, but is he up again? He looks like he's okay. He's hopping a little bit. He definitely wants to stay on by the looks of things, and why wouldn't he? County semi-final, and The management want him off. He wants to stay on. So there's a bit of a disagreement going on here. He's getting waved over. He's not happy to be coming off, as you'd expect. But
so the sub is made.
So he is gone. It looks like number 7 is back in.
Jack Lucknan.
So Jack Lucknan is in there. So that's the reverse of what was supposed to happen to start. Jack Lucknan there is in for Kiladangan. Unfortunately, team captain David Sweeney had to go.
Oh, wow.
An injury, and the ball is pucked in, and we're in. The shot comes in. Creedon wins that in the air, goes low, another goal. This man just loves playing in Sarsfields Stadium. 3-3 the first day out against Drummond, and he's found a net again today.
Yeah, Brian Mulloughney there from Kiladangan. What a catch, the redhead helmet. The minute he got possession of that ball, he was only going in one direction, and a brilliant turn. He left everybody in his wake. What a great score for Kiladangan.
Absolutely. Brian Mulloughney, I should say, getting confused with the jerseys. Absolutely brilliantly won in there by Mulloughney. Got the goal last year, of course, in the final. Very similar to that one. Brian Mulloughney caught that one, found the net, and Kiladangan are back in this game. 1-3 to 8 points. And this game, it just has it all so far. We're just going to have to keep our eyes on it. Can't take away for 2 seconds or the ball ends up in the back of the net. So now we have a line ball on the far side of the field to Kiladangan. That one is left in again dangerously inside. Dan O'Mara is on it. Dan has it. A man in his back. Pulls one-handed. But it was good defending back there by Thurles, and they managed to clear it out. Again, this ball is pucked down. It's dropping. Where is it going to drop? Down to 45. Now Kiladangan, who have it, their number 9 is Ty Gallagher trying to go forward. Thurles well turned that over very well, and it's Stakelum now. If Thurles has that, they'll want to get the next score after conceding that goal. Here comes Stakelum tries to charge out, drops to Hurley, and has to go back with the ball, but Thurles hold on to possession, which is the most important thing. And that one again is left inside, looking for the big man inside. Who's got it? It goes over Maher's head. Pa Burke is wrestling, trying to get onto that one, but it's brilliant Kiladangan defending back there by Hayes. Hayes is trying to do his best, so is Flannery. There's 2 men back, but it's Maher of Thurles who has it. Maher starts heading out towards the 14, looking for some support, goes all the way back. He overhits that cross-field pass. He was looking over there for Mickey Cahill, but it goes over his head, and they're good fighting for it over there now is Flynn, and they won themselves a free ball, and plenty have happened there. Michael, you want to give us our thoughts in the last couple of seconds?
Yeah, look at his frantic stuff, and we can hear the crowd getting into this game. That goal has meant a huge amount to Kiladangan, but back with the action there, Dennis Maher and the forwards wrestle back possession, really working hard. You can see the effort going on, but pucked a long ball across the field. It was very, very difficult for Mickey Cahill to keep in, and Kiladangan turned it over. And
it's Kiladangan on the attack again. Paul Flynn, he's been shooting from left and right, shoots from the sideline again. It's his second time shooting from the sideline again. That one goes wide. Unfortunately, he has 2 today, but maybe he should have taken a second there and laid that off.
Yeah, sure. Look, anytime that you puck a ball wide, you have to think about, was there a better option? And of course there is. But look you've got to back yourself, and the forwards, they tend to be like that. Yeah, of course there's risk with every shot you take, but that's the nature. It's not everybody can play up front, and when you do, you've got to take those chances.
If you're just joining us here, 19 minutes gone, 1-3 to Kiladangan, 8 points to Sarsfields, and it was Brian Mulloughney who got the goal there for Kiladangan. It came from a long puck out, won it around the 14, turned and shot low into the net. So Kiladangan 1-3, Sarsfields 8 points. Kiladangan hadn't scored for a while, so they really did need that goal. Now it's a line ball on the far side of the field. Kiladangan lining this one up. Willie Connors, I think, over the far side of the field, really taking his time. I think the ball fell off. It's a little bit of a perch. The Thurles fans over there don't like that. He's taking so long, but it was well worth the wait. Gets a lovely cut down, but it goes actually harmlessly wide, and it's not even going to go wide. It's well picked up over there by Ronan Maher. Ronan back in his own cornerback position, and he drives that one forward again. Kiladangan trying to get onto this, and it's well won over there by Ty Gallagher. Ty Gallagher puts that back to where it came from. Lovely little control pass to the goal scorer Brian Mulloughney. Loads of time and space, looked calm, and there was no doubt that was going over the bar. 1-1 now for him.
Yeah, very controlled play there. Great to see somebody like Ty Gallagher winning possession there from a breakdown, and it looked like he was going to open up his shoulders and hit a long ball, but hit a precision ball to Brian Mulloughney, who made no mistake.
So it's now 1-4 to 8 points in favour of Thurles Stars. They're a point up, but it's Kiladangan who are coming into it in the last few minutes, and Kiladangan still on the ball now. Well won back there. They're on the attack and move again. The shot was coming in there by Billy somewhere. It was brilliantly blocked, but Billy managed to pick it up. Paddy's doing very well, and Paddy put in a great block. A bit of a pull there, but Paddy comes away. It doesn't seem to feel that. Has 2 men on his back, but he's still coming forward. Paddy clears that up, but he clears it into possibly a bit of a no man's land. But the Thurles man is out to that, out in front of his man, gets the ball, picks it up, shot over the shoulder from Dennis Maher. Dennis has a point already, but that one isn't going to add to his tally.
No, and when it left his Hurley, it looked as if it was going to be, it was going to make the mark, but no, it drifted out wide, and I think there was a player on the inside there for Dennis Maher, so could really have maybe looked at a better option. And the ball is pucked out again, takes a couple of deflections, and eventually goes out over the line on the far side of the field, and it's going to be a line ball to Kiladangan, and we'd expect
Willie Connors is going to take this again. It's similar, probably slightly closer in potentially. This time he does decide to go short, just gives it as far as Paul Flynn. Paul Flynn gives it back to him. Now Willie gets it between the 265s. Willie fancies his chances for here, opens up the shoulders, takes the shot. The umpires take a long look at that, but Willie puts that one over the bar for his first score of the day.
Yeah, we haven't seen a huge amount of the Kiladangan midfield, but Willie struck that one from play, but Ty Gallagher handled the last couple of balls or last couple of breaks that happened around the middle of the field. So, they'll want to see, they won't win this match unless they have a strong influence, and they're at least breaking 50-50 with the breaks in the middle of the field.
And now it's all Kiladangan. They've really been going there on the attack here again. The ball is left inside. They're looking for Billy Seymour. Was isolated with Paddy Maher, but Paddy Maher really takes control of that situation. Gives it to Joseph Ryan. He clears it upfield looking for Pa Burke. Pa Burke doesn't manage to get it the first time. It's gone to ground, and Kiladangan are going to win this back, or are they? Aidan McCormick isn't giving up on this one. Plays an intelligent ball inside. It's Mickey Cahill. Mickey Cahill takes on his man, does a little shimmy, goes past it, plays a low ball in. I don't know, was he hooked or did the shot just not come off? Either way, it goes to the right and wide.
Yeah, really good hook there, and it came all the way from Joe Gallagher, and Joe's a long ways from the centre forward position. And then I was only going to comment on that, like the movement of the Kiladangan forwards is really good. It's very difficult for the opposition to pick them up. They're literally moving positions at will.
And Kiladangan are on the attack again. Dan O'Mara was looking to get on the end of that, but Paddy Maher, who's really reading everything back there, not letting nothing go past him, gives a lovely ball to his brother Ronan. Ronan plays that out to the midfield, looking for who's out there. It looks like it's going to be Aidan McCormick. Aidan McCormick has a bit of a battle there with Willie Connors, and Aidan wins himself a line ball just inside the attacking side of the field from his point of view. Goes short with that, doesn't manage to get maybe as good a cut as he wanted on it, but Thurles looked like they had it. Looked like it was Stakelum who had it, but Kiladangan have turned it over, and now they're coming out through Flynn. Flynn gives a lovely little stick pass outside, and plenty of time and space. What's going to happen here? What are they going to go for? It looked like Nan couldn't make up his mind, but he gives a low one inside as far as Flynn. Flynn again, he's out the side, and every time he gets the ball they're pushing him out there, but they're holding on to possession, well recycled, and the shot is coming in from downtown from about 50 yards out. The shot comes in, but it goes to the right and wide, and again maybe that's one they should have left in.
Yeah, and that's Jack Lucknan who just came in there at the 17-minute mark as a sub for David Sweeney. But in their last day out, I think Jack Lucknan got 2 points from play against Upperchurch, if not 3.
We'll keep an eye on that. We'll come back to you on that stat in a few minutes if we can find it. And now the ball is pucked out again. It's Thurles on the attack. It's Stakelum. Stakelum has 2 men in front of him, and he leaves it outside to Connor Stakelum. Connor Stakelum on his right hand side. That he got a lovely connection on that. The crowd liked that one, and that's gone over the bar. Good link up clear there, and Thurles are off again. Yeah,
and really good play there by young Dara Stakelum. He anytime he's touching the ball, he's very sure, and it's always going to hand. Paid off a really good pass there to Big Brother, and he made no mistakes at all. He'll be delighted. That's his second point from play.
You can't take your eyes off this one. Coming up on 25 minutes gone. It's 1-5 to Kiladangan. It's 9 points to Thurles. And it's Thurles on the attack over there on the far side of the field through Pa Burke. Pa Burke gets it. He's on the 21. There's a man on his back, but he manages to shrug him off. Still Burke. Burke fancies his chances over there at the edge, and he just gets that slightly too low. Barry Hogan's able to put up the hurley and stop that one going over the bar. And Kiladangan will be thankful of that. And now they can start to build on an attack. Slowly and patiently goes back as far as Hogan. Barry Hogan now goes slightly dangerously maybe, but they hold on to the ball, and the ball is being worked out, but it's turned over, brilliantly turned over there by Connor Stakelum, but he's lost it. Then it goes to ground again, and now Kiladangan have it. They're coming out of their own defence, but a foul comes in, and they'll be delighted with that because things were getting a little bit ragged back there, but they've won themselves a free.
Yeah, great. Look, it's a great contest. Like there was dispossessions going on left, right and centre. Kiladangan took it off of Thurles. Thurles took it back off of Kiladangan, and a slight coming together of legs or clipping of the heels, and Kiladangan will be delighted with that now.
So 25 and a half minutes gone. 1-5 Kiladangan, 9 points to Thurles Sarsfield. The goal coming there for Kiladangan in the just at the start of the second quarter. The goal there was Brian Malachny was the man who put the ball into the net. So it's now number 12 for Kiladangan. Billy Seymour standing over this one. Billy has won already today from a free. He's way back inside his own half. He's about 70 yards out from goal. Left hand side. Billy looks to be relatively happy with that one. And why wouldn't he be, as he puts that one between the posts, and Billy has 2 now for the day.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned it, just how important a good free taker is, and Billy showed his worth there. 2 frees, that's 100% for him.
Now the ball again is worked its way down around the 45, but Thurles are onto it. They're attacking forward, back as far as Stakelum. Stakelum in a bit of space, that's all he needs, a little bit of time and space. Puts that one high to try and avoid the block, and in doing so he ends up going right and wide with it. But they are sharp, you can't just give them any space at all, especially Connor Stakelum has been very good today.
Yeah, no, they are, and they're working really hard, and I think both teams, to credit them, they both got an exceptional work rate here, and I suppose they fully understand what's going on here and what's at stake for both teams here today. So look, it's a great contest. It's really ebbing and flowing, and both teams giving everything that they've got.
Joe Gallagher now has worked his way all the way back to his own half-back position, trying to gather possession. He lets that one dangerously inside. Dan O'Mara is trying to get it for Kiladangan. It's still there. It's Brian Mallockney again inside the square. There's a couple of Thurles men. It's still there. Shot comes in and it's into the back of the net. Finished home by Billy Seymour. He got a goal the last day out against Overchurch, and he gets another goal today. Kiladangan are banging, as the locals say down there. A second goal for them.
Yeah, what a score. And again, it came from a long high ball, and we were all wondering, Paddy Maher looked to have no hurry when the high ball came in, so was he fouling or had he been fouled? And the ball was hanging around. It looked like the danger was gone, but no, ball was popped out to Billy Seymour, and what a finish from Billy Seymour.
He really has the goal in touch at the moment. 2-6 to 9 points, but Thurles are on the attack now. It's Pa Burke. They'll want to get an immediate response, but Kiladangan's dander is up, and they've managed to turn that one over. They've well worked it back as far as Fergal Hayes. Fergal Hayes plays an intelligent ball into loads of space out there to Jack Loughnane. Jack Loughnane between the 265s, all on his own. Plays that one inside, but I think he just hit that without really thinking, and it goes all the way into Paddy Maher, who has plenty of time and space back there in the full back line for Thurles, and he puts that one, dropping that one in around the D, looking for Dennis Maher, looking for Creedon. It's still there around the 14, gone to ground. Kiladangan have that back there through Quigley. Quigley does look solid as he plays that out to Gallagher. Gallagher now between the 21 and the 45, looks up, diagonal ball across the field. There's a couple of players fighting for that one, but it drops over the Thurles man's head, and Kiladangan are on the attack here. They're working in. It's Flynn. Flynn skins his man. Flynn on the end line. Still Flynn coming forward, looking for some support. In and out. Still Flynn gives it back outside. He gets the support he needs. Feeds it outside as far as Brian Mallockney. Mallockney on his left hand side. Mallockney shoots and Mallockney scores. But a lot of credit there must go to Paul Flynn.
Yeah, Paul Flynn had a huge amount to do when he collected that ball down in the corner, and he was under constant pressure from Paul Maher, his marker, but really held on to the ball, sucked in Paddy Maher to the tackle as well, retained possession and fed it out then to Brian Mallockney, who made no mistake at all. Brian Mallockney's having a huge game here, doing exactly what you'd expect of a top class forward.
And it's Thurles on the attack here. It's Paddy Creedon. Paddy Creedon is over the 21. Paddy Creedon was pulled down rugby style, and it's going to be a free in, probably about 17 or 18 yards out. A very scoreable one. 28 coming up on 29 minutes gone in this one. 2-7 to Kiladangan, 9 points to Thurles. So Kiladangan, even though they looked like they were out of it a few minutes ago, that second goal has really brought them back into the game, and they're not going to give up this title easy. But it's going to be a free in now, a free in to Thurles. Aidan McCormick's going to stand over this. He already has one from a free. You'd expect him to get this. The angle isn't the hardest in the world. It's not in front of the goals by any means. Maybe about 25 in from the line and about 10 in from the D. You'd expect him to get this one.
Yeah, and just to talk about what's happened on the scoreboard since the water break, SARS have put on, this will be their, assuming it goes over, this is their third point since the water break, and in that same period 2-4 for Kiladangan, and great goals. Look at what it's done for the crowd here now, and they lead, and they deservedly lead by 3.
So that one did go over, as Michael will speak. Aidan McCormick put that one over. 2-7 now to 10 points. And that one had a huge puck out, dropping, bouncing. But no Kiladangan man there was to take advantage of it. And Joseph Ryan now of Thurles is back there inside his own 14, and he clears that. He was trying to clear it up as far as McCormick, but it was well defended back there, and Ty Gallagher now has it. Ty on the edge of the 65, hand pass that as far as Alan Flynn. Alan Flynn, lovely little flick. One time, gives it outside as far as Joe Gallagher. Joe Gallagher has yet to score today. Brilliant score by Kiladangan. That is well worth looking back on the highlights today. Great League Cup play and great score.
Yeah, and that all came from a clearance coming from the full back line from Sarsfields, and Alan Flynn dealt with it very, very well and stayed moving and stayed involved in the play, and he's having a real good game, but he's very, very important for Kiladangan.
Now Thurles on the attack, a brilliant catch over there by Dara Stakelin to set up this move, but it's knocked down inside, and Kiladangan have enough numbers back to turn this one over, and they're onto the ball. The referee says he's seen enough. Kiladangan were on the attack. They mightn't be delighted about the timing of that half-time whistle, but they'll be delighted when they look over the scoreboard. Kiladangan 2-8, Thurles Sarsfield 10 points, just over. We only played about 40 seconds or so of injury time. I suppose there wasn't too many injuries. Maybe you could argue when David Sweeney went down we could have had another minute, but either way, 2-8. I'm just getting greedy though. It was such a good half. I just wanted to see more of it. Kiladangan 2-8, Thurles Sarsfield 10 points. Michael, sum up the first half for us.
Oh yeah, and I just even before I do, I'm looking down here at the body language, like the body language of the Kiladangan. The bench is is in to meet the players coming off the field, and it's backslaps in every direction, and deservedly so. They've put in a massive last 15 minutes, and look, it's been a phenomenal second quarter for Kiladangan. Like to register 2-5 in that 15-minute period against Thurles Sarsfield's 3 points. Like, it's fair to say that they owned that last quarter. And goals, talk about what does the damage. Well, goals do huge damage, and even it's not even the they'll come and they'll go, and I'd be surprised if Thurles don't end up with getting a goal or two themselves. But it's the damage they do, the psychological damage. You know, the belief that, you know, you could see the Kiladangan guys just growing in confidence there as that half wore on. And I'd say they didn't want to see that whistle coming when it came. But look, as you rightly pointed out, fabulous contest. You know, we're seeing it ebb and flow here. And big scores coming, you know, and the biggest of those scores are coming from Kiladangan. But, you know, as you'd expect from worthy champions, and, you know, I suppose just looking at the quality of you know, goals coming from right inside there where the danger men are, it's just great to see.
Billy Seymour and Brian Mallockney with the goals for Kiladangan. So the half-time score here in this first of the Tipperary Senior Hurling Championship semi-finals. It's Kiladangan 2-8, Thurles Sarsfields 10 points. We'll be back after this break with the full second half. Welcome back to Semple Stadium for what has been an absolute cracker of a first semi-final here in the Tipperary Senior Hurling Championship. If you're just joining us, you've missed a brilliant first half, but the score is Kiladangan 2-8, Thurles Sarsfields 10 points. The goals coming there from Brian Malachny with the first one and Billy Seymour with the second one. Both have been crucial because they came at brilliant times when it looked like Thurles were getting all over them. We're joined in the commentary box by 2016 All-Ireland winning manager Michael Ryan. We're just looking through the subs, I suppose, Michael, there, trying to see what's been talked about in the dressing rooms. I think they're in the dressing rooms now. We were just talking beforehand. It's hard to know, actually, are they in the dressing rooms? The rules are a little bit grey at the moment. But either way, Michael, what do you think has been said in both camps at the moment?
Yeah, it's just as I was saying before, as they were coming off the field, like the body language of the Kiladangan guys was just so positive, and their bench coming out to meet them and backslapping them and things like that. Like, they put in a hell of a last 15 minutes there. There was an 8-point swing from the end of the first quarter when SARS were 4 up, to Kiladangan going in 4 up. So massively positive. Like, what those guys would be talking about below there is, look, let's continue this and drive it. Can they find a couple of more scores? Like, they'll talk about the chances they've missed, and I suppose they'll talk about what they've created in that 15-minute period. Thurles, on the other side, I think their conversation might be a little bit more direct with their players. I think. Coming from a position where they didn't have the best start to that opening maybe 4 or 5 minutes in the match, to controlling possibly, I think it's fair to call it controlling maybe the last 5-6 minutes of the first quarter, to having quite a poor second 15 minutes. They'll be disappointed with several aspects of their play. Now, look, they're within a hair's breadth of opening up Kiladangan at times too. But in terms, if you were to ask me what defence is doing the better at the moment, without doubt, Kiladangan's defence seem to have gotten on top of the Sarsfields forwards. And look, there's nothing as damaging as goals for full back lines, and Thurles Sarsfields have coughed up too, and they'll want to address that, because if they concede another goal here, they'll have to have a phenomenal performance at the other end of the field to get themselves back into it.
Yeah, absolutely. 2-8 Kiladangan, Thurles 10 points, and Paddy Maher has been just everywhere in that. When he's been on the ball, they just look so calm and relaxed. He's been setting up attacks, he's been stopping Kiladangan attacking. How can Kiladangan, I suppose, try to get around that? How can they get around that basically wall he's set up, maybe around that edge of the square?
Yeah, well, they seem to have persisted with the long ball, and when I say long ball, very long ball, going right into the edge of the D, and and I think I suppose it causes consternation if the ball isn't won cleanly by the Thurles backs. It just creates so many opportunities for the opposition forwards. Like, the backs have to get to every ball. The forward only needs to get to one or two and create as much damage as they can. But to talk about the first goal that Kiladangan got, that was a long ball to hit into the right hand side of the Thurles goals. It was a 2-on-2 or a 1-on-1. Defensive situation, but was won exceptionally well there by Brian Malachny off of Paul Maher. Paul, as a defender, will be very disappointed with that, and give up primary possession. On top of that, a great turn by Brian Malachny, and the net is shaken as a result. Bad and all as that was, to concede a second goal in the same quarter from what looked like a position where Thurles had probably averted the danger. We did say just before that goal came that. As that ball came down, Paddy Maher had no hurley in his hand. So whether he had been fouled or whether he was fouling. But anyway, that one moved on a couple of seconds, and 5 seconds later, Billy Seymour had the ball in the back of the net. Those are big deposits for Kiladangan, and they're big. They really hurt the Sarsfields' efforts then. But what we're going to have to see now, really from both sides, and particularly Sarsfields, is a test of character. Are they up for this? They've done it several times before, but there's been a gap here of 4 years since Thurles won their last county final, and they're coming up today against the reigning champions with their tails up. So I think we're in for a fabulous second half here.
The referee, John McCormack, there has blown the whistle. He's trying to get both teams out for the second half. No sign of either of them just yet, so he's there just waiting for them. We spoke about Kiladangan's attack there for a second, but Thurles, I know they're losing 2-8 to 10 points, but all 6, by my reckoning, have scored. Now, McCormack's have only come from frees, but to have all 6 of your forwards scoring in the first half is no bad thing either.
No, and it's exactly like, and if you go out as far as midfield, they've 7 out of those 8 forward players have contributed from Thurles Sarsfields versus 5 from the top 8 in Kiladangan. Now, who cares at the end of the day? What they care about is, what's the final score say? But yeah, look, I wouldn't write off Thurles, but I just think they're being pushed to the pinnacle here in by Kiladangan, and telling that they're first out on the field, that suggests to me that there was a few straight messages given to them at half time that this is backs to the wall time, and come and fight and come and give us what you've got. These half-time little battles, here come Kiladangan. They're all psychological, even holding on to them for those couple of extra seconds at half-time. When you're in the driving seat, all of those things seem to, be the right thing to do. So we'll wait and see how it opens up.
And if the cheer there is anything to go by, there's a far bigger crowd here from Kiladangan than Thurles. We're looking out for numbers as well to see can we spot any changes. Thurles don't seem to have made any. They still only have that number 21 who was always on the field. That number 21, of course, Dara Stakelin, who's made a big contribution. Kiladangan, we'll keep an eye on that as the game gets going. We're almost ready to get going here. I don't see any changes very prominent, but we will keep an eye on that as John McCormack here, the referee, throws it in, and we're off for the second half. And straight away it's Kiladangan onto that, and straight away it's Willie Connors. Willie Connors is up, goes back as far as Jack Lucknan. Lucknan plays that one inside, looking for Dan O'Mara. Dan looked to have been held though, and Thurles managed to come away with this one and clear it way down the field. Again, I think it was Paddy who cleared that way down the field. It's dropping now, well taken, pulled out of the sky there, brilliantly taken by Alan Flynn. Alan Flynn wins without a free, and he deserved that. That will give him a huge lift.
Yeah, a great take by Alan Flynn, and he was backpedaling under that high ball and courageously put his hand up, and that's the kind of stuff now that defines the start of your game, and he stands over the free himself. He's having a great game for Kiladangan.
And he's dropping that one again. It's dropping. You can tell that they're playing into the breeze this time, because that one only went as far as the 21. We saw them in the first half going all the way in. Kiladangan working hard trying to win this one over. Dan O'Mara is over there trying to get onto it. So is Sean Hayes. The ball is still on the ground on the far side of the field, but it's Dan now who looks like he has it. But the Thurles lads aren't giving up on this, and they've managed to turn that over. Brilliant defender there by Joseph Ryan, and they've come out with it, win themselves a free. And just when it looked like Kiladangan might be getting for a score there, Thurles did very well not to let them make any progress.
Yeah, and it was an important passage of play there now, because Kiladangan had him pinned into the corner, and if the
ball dropping and it's into the back of the net. The ball just dropped there as Michael was talking. Connor Stakelin pulled on it. It dropped about 8 yards from the goal from a long ball in. He was quickest to react, and Connor Stakelin swings on that and puts it into the back of the net.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stop talking, during these plays, because I'm missing and stopping you guys hearing about the great plays. That was a savage goal by Thurles.
Connor Stakelin finds the net there, yeah. Both times I think we may have been caught for this goal. It's going so fast, and the shot's coming in now from Ronan Maher. Ronan Maher, about 40 yards out from his own goal, shoots again. And when he gets them, they look brilliant. That's the second time he's missed them. It can be very frustrating for the inside forwards as Ronan Maher shoots that one wide. 2-8 to 110. 31 minutes gone here in this match. 31 minutes gone, so we're into the second half if you're just joining us. And it's now Ronan Maher on this. Ronan Maher, we heard the clash of the ash there. Ronan kept going and win himself a free. And it looked like there might be a bit of after between himself and Willie Connors. But Ronan takes a step back and it's going to be a free out.
Yeah, again, the pressure seems to be coming from Thurles Sarsfields. They'll be delighted with this opening couple of minutes to the second half. Like within inside 2 minutes, they've pulled that 4-point lead back to 1. So look, it's really opening up for a great second half here for us.
And Aidan McCormack is coming back now to take this free. He's come way back. He must be 75 yards out. He's in between the 45 and the 65 inside in his own half. Aidan has 2 from frees in the first half. Gets in that, maybe threw that slightly too far ahead of himself. It doesn't get the distance on it. It's dropping in around the square dangerously, but well read back there. Alan Flynn gets onto that for Kiladangan and clears that out the field. Clears that out. It seems to be a lot more space now in the second half onto the far side of the field. All the way back there as far as McCormack, the man who took the original 65. He goes diagonally across the field, and Thurles are hoping to build on this attack. He was looking for Dennis Maher there. Dennis didn't get it first time, and now the ball is on the ground still. Haslam and Harry and both teams pulled back out the field still. Now the ball has gone out over the line, and both teams just don't want to give that up in this start of this second half. Just if you're late joining us, today's game is brought to you in association with Tipperary County Council's e-parking app and new number 0818 065 004. So I hope you're taking that down if you need a bit of e-parking between now and Christmas. But back here in Semple Stadium, it's Ronan Maher to take this line ball between the 45 and the 65, so he's attacking this one. We've seen him score possibly. It won't be easy. That'd be exceptional if he scored from here, but we have seen him score similar distance. Gets a lovely connection on that. Does it go between the posts? Seems to just trail out at the very last second. Probably worth it though, because when they do go over, they do look spectacular.
Oh, look at you. Could talk all day. Are those shots worth it or not? I suppose only when they go over. That's the proviso.
Because you could argue now that's 3 he's put wide, shot twice from far out the field, and then with that line ball, which maybe could all have been left in. Either way, it's hard to know. Easy to say from up here too. 2-8 Kiladangan, Thurles Sarsfields 1-10, and it's a free, or to throw in between the 45 and the 65 in towards the Kiladangan goal, we'll say. The ball is there, still hassling and harrying the ball, not picked up straight away. Both sets of midfielders are in there. Who else is in there? Paul Flynn is in there. There's lots of players in there. It's a Kiladangan man who comes away with his hand pass, is well read by Dara Stakelin, but Kiladangan have won it back. Now Kiladangan, their number 9, has it. He's flying up the field. Ty Gallagher gives that inside, gets the old 1-2. Lovely move from Kiladangan. Gallagher with the shot. Gallagher on his left hand side, off the post. It drops dangerously around the 14, but quickest to read that there is Paddy Maher. Paddy Maher shrugs off a tackle, gives a hand pass, but it's not accurate, and Kiladangan are on the attack here, driving forward here. Flynn, still Kiladangan, still on the attack, hand pass outside as far as Willie Connors on the edge of the D, and Willie Connors in plenty of time and space puts that one over the bar. Couple of chances to score there, it looked to have been cleared. Paddy's pass just wasn't accurate, and Kiladangan punish.
Yeah, Paddy ran into a challenge, right as he released the ball, and it was marginal whether it was a foul or not, but the result is that Kiladangan, after getting a brilliant score for themselves and showed great composure, recycled the ball between 2 or 3 of them there to make sure that it went to the best man, and as I said, the result is a very good score for Kiladangan and getting them back on the scoreboard.
Danger here now as Paddy Creedon of Thurles goes forward, left the ball inside. Here comes Thurles, the shot comes in low, well saved there by Barry Hogan. The shot came in there, I think on the far side of the field, it came in from Dennis Maher. It went low enough, but it was well saved by Barry Hogan, and now Kiladangan are trying to come out, and they've won themselves actually a free in. The crowd really roared that as if it was a score, but it's going to be free into Thurles.
Yeah, great passage of play after happening there in that corner. Great battle going on there between, I think it was Dara Flannery and Paddy Creedon to win the ball, and Paddy had taken the ball off of Paddy Creedon, I'd say maybe twice, and Paddy stayed after it and won it back, and gave a very intelligent back pass to Dennis Maher, who I thought should have taken a point and went for a goal, and getting a goal from not a great angle on Barry Hogan is going to be difficult, but turned over the blocked, I suppose when Barry cleared it, it went out to one of his cornerbacks, and Dennis stayed after him and turned it over and won a very good free.
And as we were speaking there, Aidan McCormack scored that resulting free. That's his 3rd of the day. 2-9 now to Kiladangan, 1-11 to Thurles Sarsfields. And it's Thurles now back in possession of the ball, and that ball is dropping. And it's Paddy Creed now who has it inside his own 45. He's driving forward, shrugs off the tackle. Has he got the accuracy and the distance on this? No, he hasn't. Maybe it took too much. Oh, but they've called it back. It's going to be a fairly scoreable free, and it was well worth his efforts there. As you'd imagine, Aidan McCormack will score this just inside the 45. And Creed is coming into it a little bit more in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 2 plays in very short succession down in the corner, but that was a very winnable ball that was put out in front of him, and he took it on the bounce, and the minute he's a very good guy to get himself turned and aim for the goal straight away, which he did, and he's big, he's hard to manage, so he's gonna force you, he's either going to get a good shot off or you're going to foul him, and at that point, I suppose the ref pulled it back, and he had won a free a second or 2 previous to hitting that ball.
So here comes McCormack just inside the 45. He has 3 all coming from frees today. Here comes McCormack, left hand side. Looks to be fairly happy with that one, and he gets that over. That's 4 for him for the day. So that's 2-10 or 2-9 I should say to Kiladangan, 1-12 to Thurles Sarsfields. As we're getting going, no waiting around at all here today. Fergal Hayes now, if Kiladangan has it, gives it as far as Jack Loughnane, I should say. Jack plays that into the corner, but his intentions weren't read, and it's well read back there by the Thurles defence. He goes to ground there. That was Jack Darby loses his footing at a bad moment, but he manages to feed it on to Paddy Maher, and Paddy picks up the scraps, but again a Paddy hand pass doesn't go to where it should have went, and it's turned over there by Sean Hayes. Sean Hayes has been quiet in general, and again he's smothered there. 3 Thurles men were around him as Conor Stakelin now takes the ball between the 2 midfield lines, between the 265s. He's hassling Harry, good defending back there as Aidan McCormack picks up the ball and sprays a lovely ball into space into Mickey Cahill. Mickey Cahill decides to leave it off to Paddy Creedon. Paddy Creedon now is out between the 45 and the 65. Paddy pushes off his man. Paddy has a bit of time and space. Paddy looks up and Paddy takes his score.
Yeah, fabulous score. That's his 3rd of the day. But I like the way he's shown in front of his man, and that was out beyond the 45-yard line, and took that on his left hand side. Normally, most of his scores that I've seen from him are on his right this side. So look at he's coming into this game
Aidan McCormack now wins this and he launches it around the edge of the square. The sun is in a lot of the players' eyes down there. It drops dangerously. It's still there. Not cleared yet, but it's eventually won by the goalkeeper there. And he's calm, the calmest man in Semple Stadium as he clears that ball back down the field, back down on top of Ronan Maher. Ronan Maher gets a swing in it, I think, but it drops there as far as Brian Malachny. Again, he's been quiet in the second half. Intelligent ball by him out to Paul Flynn in a bit of space, about 30 yards out. Flynn on his left-hand side. Flynn puts that one over the bar, and I think he has a bit of afters with his man after he put that over, telling him, I'm well able to score. You can keep doing that to me all day. I think is what he's saying. The crowd don't like that, though. He might have done a bit more than talking. Either way, Paul Flynn put that one over the bar, and it's now 2-10 Kiladangan, 1-13 to Thurles Sarsfields.
Yeah, we don't have the benefit of replay up here. It did look as though there was a little bit of contact. What exactly happened, I don't know. Who is it down there? Is one of the Sarsfields defenders. I think it's Paul Maher is down, and he doesn't certainly go down easily, that chap. So whether Paul is going to get a sanction here or not. Look, the ball has gone over the bar. That's the end result. Yeah, he has been spoken to.
And we're all square here after 39 minutes. It's 2-10 Kiladangan. It's 1-13 Thurles Sarsfield. And we're expecting probably Paul Flynn, who got that score, is going to get a yellow card here, you'd imagine. As we're going to get going here. And today's game, of course, is brought to you in association with Tipperary County Council's e-parking app and new number 0818 065 004. And as we suggested, there we go, Paul Flynn, the yellow card goes up. He'll have to be careful for the last 20 minutes or so. I'd say they're having a right battle himself. And is it Paul Maher? We're trying to get a proper view of it there. Potentially it is. Is it?
Yeah, it's Paul Maher. And while that's going on, it is worth saying that was a really well taken score by Paul Flynn. Showed all his experience there, steadied himself down, just dinked the ball over the bar, exactly what Kiladangan needed to do.
And Kiladangan actually have a player warming up down here. He's clapping his hands together. He's kind of cold. If you've been sitting in the stand for the last 40 minutes or so, he's going to wake his way onto the field. I imagine at the next break of play we'll tell you about him when that actually does happen.
Yeah, that looks like Tom O'Mara from here, brother of Dan. And quite often he goes in and sometimes far, Tom. Very similar kind of player, pacey, tall, rangy.
And the ball is pucked out there, and it's dropping between the 45 and 65, and it's Stakelum who has it. Stakelum hand passes that forward, and Thurles hold on to the ball. Hurled all through Aidan McCormack. Aidan McCormack hasn't scored from play yet, and this time he's bundled up and pushed out over the line, and it's going to be a line ball, a defending line ball we'll call it, as they're going to play out of their own defence, and it's going to be Jack Loughnane who's going to take it.
Yeah, Jack Loughnane has had a fine game since coming in there after 17 minutes for David Sweeney. And he's played plenty of these games already this year for Kiladangan, and it just shows the experience that they have in their squad.
Loughnane gets a decent connection. He sent a sod flying nearly as far as the ball, and Thurles have turned that one over, and it's whipped back down the field again, dropping around the edge of the dangerously. Who's onto that? It looks like Conor Stakelum of Thurles now has it. He's about 40 yards out looking for some support. Doesn't manage to get it to a man in a blue jersey though, and Kiladangan have turned this one over. Where are they going now? Alan Flynn goes back as far as James Quigley. James Quigley gives the ball relatively short, and then it's driven long, dropping around to 21. Where's it going to go? Onto this. They're onto it. Here comes Sean Hayes. The crowd rose, but he actually couldn't rise the ball, which is ironic. If he could have got it up as well as he got the crowd up there, he was in for a goal. Couldn't get it off the ground. He managed to turn it over. Disappointed from him and the Kiladangan point of view, but he managed to just make a mistake at the wrong time, and it's a free out.
Yeah, that was a huge opportunity there. It looked to us there that is it Joseph Ryan or Paul Maher, one of the two cornerbacks lost their footing at the wrong time, and it looked like Sean Hayes was going to get straight in on goals, but there was a really good touch, a really good interception taken on, and I'm just trying to see who's coming off, and that's the same Sean Hayes that's coming off. But yeah, that was a chance, and Thurles would have been delighted to turn that around and relieve the pressure with a long free to Ronan Maher.
And he drops it. It's dropping. Is it dropping around the square? Dropping around the small square. Still there dangerously, but it's going to be picked up there by Alan Flynn. That one could have been dangerous. And as we just mentioned there, Sean Hayes had a chance of a goal and then immediately swept off the field. I don't think they were related. The sub was already warming up, but if he had scored there, who knows what might have happened. But now it's Kiladangan and Billy Seymour. Billy Seymour has it on his 45. Feeds it out to Paul Flynn. Paul Flynn on his left-hand side. Paul Flynn puts that one up. He thinks it's a point. The umpires don't agree with you, Michael, by the looks of things, though. What's going to happen here? He's given it as a wide, I think, is it?
Yeah, no, a wide ball. And again, it looked like he had done everything right, steadied himself, taken a good shot, but it just drifted to the right-hand side.
And now the ball is attacking again from a Thurles point of view. They've dropped it around the edge of the D from their puck out. They've gone long with it. And now it's Stakelum again. Stakelum past his man. He's over the 14 on his left-hand side. Not an easy angle. And Stakelum puts that to the right and wide. The crowd don't seem to agree with that. Or they're roaring or shouting. Maybe they're roaring and shouting from the Kiladangan defence point of view. But that one was to the right and wide and a bit of a let-off. And Kiladangan don't waste any time here. They give it to Fergal Hayes, the corner back. He's taking that ball up to the 45. Now he pucks it down inside trying to get Brian Malotny free. But he doesn't manage to get it. It's well read there by the Thurles defence. But Kiladangan aren't giving up on this one. But Thurles there are fighting hard. They're holding on to this, not letting Kiladangan get up ahead of steam. And they've won this back. A high tackle came in there on Mickey Cahill as he was trying to clear the ball, and he wins himself a free out.
Yeah, Joe Gallagher, just, it's a really difficult one. These guys are trying to stop each other, making any kind of progress. And quite often it looks to me as if people, probably not deliberately, but they look as if they've crouched down a little bit, and every tackle looks to be high, once the arms engage anywhere around the shoulders. But anyway, free to Thurles.
And Ronan Maher shoots that one from a long way out again and again. Unfortunately, from his point of view and the Thurles supporters, he's put that wide again. So 210 to 113, still all square here after 43 minutes in Semple Stadium. And it's Kiladangan now on the attack, flying down the far side of the field. Here we go, the shot coming in there from Joe Gallagher, out by the sideline. Joe Gallagher with the shot, and Joe Gallagher has put that over the bar for his second point of the day, and Kiladangan go into the lead.
And that was interesting, just as that puck out was being taken. I was saying, the structure of the Kiladangan forwards was that, they had retreated, and yet they found Joe Gallagher in that kind of space over by the new stand. He caught that uncontested, took on, gained another 20 yards up along the wing, and then just struck it without breaking stride. A great score for Kiladangan. They'll be absolutely delighted with that.
But there's a defensive mistake back here by Kiladangan, but the ball is well read there by Barry Hogan. There looked like there might be a chance of a goal. They're doing a lot of short passing, and when that does break down, it can be dangerous. But Barry Hogan was quick to react there when the pass really didn't go to hand. But they've managed to work that out now, and now it's Kiladangan back in possession of the ball on the far side of the field through Declan McGrath. Declan is dropping that one inside. Thurles are on this. They've got plenty of numbers up there. Have they got the ball though? It's dropped around the edge of the D. Kiladangan, I should say, are fighting hard, but Thurles have enough men back there, and it's Paddy Maher. Paddy Maher comes to the rescue, as we've seen so many times in the Thurles jersey and the Tipperary jersey. He's a rock back there, and he does well to avoid the danger. As now Thurles go on the attack again. It's dropped down inside. Over there looks like Pa Burke is going to get onto this. Pa picks that one up on the second attempt, maybe on the third attempt. It's still on the ground. Pa eventually gets it up. Pa has it, takes on his man, goes past him, tries to narrow the angle or make it a bit easier for himself. He shoots and he scores. Pa did well. He worked hard, didn't give it up when he couldn't get it up the first time, but he put it over the bar eventually.
No, that was not easy by any standards, and he had to work really, really hard there. Number one, to win the ball. It was right over there near the corner flag, and on his, I'd say, second stroke, third attempt, he got the ball into his hand, and even then he had to work himself, to make some kind of an angle to get out from that corner, and he did, he took that score exceptionally well and showed all of his experience in doing so. But that was another score that Thurles really needed, because if you look at this scoreline at the moment, it's so finely balanced here. It's a draw game, 2-11 for Kiladangan, 1-14 for Thurles Sarsfields. It's a cracker of an opening 15 minutes to the second half.
Absolutely, and the referee has just blown the whistle for the water break. Interestingly, Barry Hogan, the Kiladangan goalie, went straight over to John McCormack and had a right chat with him there for the last 45 seconds or so about something or other. He's gone away from him now into the water break, into the huddle. But today's game is brought to you in association with Tipperary County Council's e-parking app and new number 0818 065 004. The main number you need to know today from today's game is they're 45 minutes gone. It's Kiladangan 2-11. It's Thurles Sarsfields 1-14. This game has had it all. We've had goals in the first half from Kiladangan coming from Brian Malotny and Billy Seymour. The goal in the second half for Thurles coming from Conor Stakelum when he whipped it to the ground from about 8 yards out. But both teams have had their area when they've been on top, and then they've been low, and then they've been high. It's just had it all, really, this game.
Yeah, and it's interesting, that quarter, just to call it a quarter, has great similarities to the first quarter of the game, in that Thurles registered 7 points between a goal and 4, and to Kiladangan's 3 points. But yet they're tied up at the value of 17 points each. The fourth quarter, if it's to mirror the second quarter, was all Kiladangan's in the first half. So we just have to wait and see. Thurles are after fighting their way back into this game. They were at 10 points at half time, and they're now at 17. So look, they'll definitely have had the better of that 15 minutes. This is the business end, though. It all counts from now on out.
The last 15 minutes. So one of the teams is going home at the end of the next 15 minutes. Well, provided we don't end up in extra time, and who knows, that could happen. These sides last met, as far as my recollection can go back, is the 2016 county final, with Thurles winning by 9 points that day. Now Thurles have 8 lads who started that day. who are still involved with the team. In fact, one man who isn't was Lar Corbett. He scored a point that day. Kiladangan have 9 who were started that day that are involved today. Dara Egan, it was one of the lads who was involved that day, and he's on the bench today, number 16. So things have changed a lot. 9 points that last time out. I can't see 9 points between them at the end of this 60 minutes, but we're going to get going here again. It's pucked out the field there by Barry Hogan. Barry drops that far as he can over the 45, looking for a man, looking there. Look, it might have been Joe Gallagher. He was trying to find her. He doesn't get it the first time. In fact, it was Billy Seymour he was trying to get it to. Feeds it out as far as Gallagher brilliantly blocked down. Gallagher, that one looked like it had point written all over it, but brilliantly blocked down there by Mickey Cahill. Mickey isn't quick enough to get the ball away though, and he's turned over, but they've won it back again through Stakelum. Stakelum's out between the 265s now. Stakelum does a bit of juggling with the ball before feeding it in over his shoulder, looking inside, looking for one of the big men. One of them big men is Dennis Maher. Dennis has passed his man. He's over the 21 nearly. He's been well defended there. The referee says legal. He's still Maher though. He's over the 13. Maher's passed his man. Still Maher with his shot. Oh, an absolute rocket from Maher, but it goes to the left and wide, but the referee is going pulling it back. It's going to be a free in.
Yeah, talk about two big men going at it there, and that was a fabulous exchange between the two boys. James Quigley, fullback for Kiladangan, and Dennis Maher. And Dennis is a very, very strong player, and he's had very little change out of James Quigley so far in this game. But that ball now he'd won a couple of times into his hand, and immediately was going goalwards, and eventually wrangled off a shot. And Dennis is capable of pulling off fabulous scores now, and it only quizzed by the post, so it could have been a goal, but he'd be very happy to have won a free. That's putting them a point ahead here.
A free, as Michael suggested there, that Aidan McCormick had put over from about 21 yards out. Aidan now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all from frees, and his side are 1 point up, 115 to Thurles Sarsfields, 2-11 to Kiladangan. 47 minutes gone in this one, and that ball is pucked out, and Thurles are on the attack here. Pucked down there by Mickey Cahill. Mickey Cahill again, he's looking for the big man inside. Who's got it? Does a Thurles man have it? No, he doesn't. Well defended there, back there by Kiladangan. It looked like Dennis Maher had the ball, but it was well pulled out of his hand almost. Either way, they've come away with it now through Jack Loughnane. Jack Loughnane of Kiladangan drops that one down, dropping around to 21. The attacking 21 from a Kiladangan point of view. It's on the ground though. Who's got it? Again, it's a Thurles man who comes away with it. Not getting much change out of that full back line are the Kiladangan forwards in the last couple of minutes. Now the ball has dropped down. Connor Stakelum. Thurles was trying to get onto that, but Jack Loughnane does very well to win the ball back. But Thurles aren't giving up on that one, but Loughnane does manage to clear it back over his shoulder and back down inside. And here come Kiladangan again, trying to get going here. Billy Seymour, Brian Malachney trying to get that one up. Brian Malachney manages to kick it forward, and they're onto that now through Gallagher. Gallagher's up to the edge of the D. Gallagher has support from Joe Gallagher. Joe Gallagher on the 21. Joe Gallagher with the shot. Maybe the goal was on. Decided to take the point, but it's a draw game again.
I've seen Joe Gallagher get a goal from those situations time and time again. He's a fabulous striker of the ball. But that was another situation there where Kiladangan worked their socks off to create something, and always looking for the man in the better position, and Joe Gallagher was just coming off the shoulder from his brother Tyke, and could have been a goal chance, but they'll be happy to take the score.
And we're all square here with 48 minutes gone, 2-12 to 1-15, and the ball now has dropped between the 45 and the 65. Kiladangan have it through Jack Loughnane. Goes back as far as Alan Flynn. Alan Flynn is brilliantly blocked. He went full length there, but unfortunately from the Thurles man point of view, Kiladangan hold on to possession, and still coming forward is Flynn. But then McCormick was in a big tackle for Thurles, and have they managed to win it back after that brilliant block there by Connor Stakelum. He doesn't manage to win the ball, and it's worked out as far as Ty Gallagher of Kiladangan. He puts that across the field. It's dropping around to 21. Who's onto it? Brian Malachney. Looks like he has it for Kiladangan. He's gone to ground now as well though. Does Malachney have it in the second attempt? Yes, he does. He's out by the sideline. Outrageous effort at his shot from there. He had 1 foot outside the field when he shot that, and he shot that to the right and wide. He was under a lot of pressure, and I suppose did well to get the shot away even.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, the way he's been playing and the way he's been shooting there today, you'd fancy him in those kind of situations. But every shot has been, and every tackle has been so well contested here. It really is. It's no place for the faint-hearted, and all the exchanges are absolutely full on.
So it's still all square here, 2-12 to 1-15, 49 minutes gone, and it's Thurles who have the ball now through Ronan Maher. Ronan Maher is up between the 265. He's going to have another go. He's had a few wides already today. This is not going to be one of them now. Ronan Maher puts that over for his first score today. Didn't lose confidence despite hitting a few wides earlier, and that's an inspirational score for Thurles.
Absolutely inspirational, and I think it was his first big catch as well. And they're trademark catches from Ronan Maher.
And the ball is pucked out right down into Jack Darby, or David Corbett, I should say. David Corbett caught that with one hand, and he's won himself a free. He got a belt in the head, and he's going to go down and take a bit of a breather. He won the puck out there brilliantly, took a belt in the head, and now he's going to go down, as we said, to take a bit of a breather. And we can all take a bit of a breather, as it's been non-stop almost for the last 50-odd minutes. 10 minutes to go in this one. 2-12 to 1-16.
Yeah, look, fabulous contest here. Absolutely fabulous. Just commentating there on the puck outs and how Thurles are dealing with them. They've had, Kiladangan have got fair success, I would say, in terms of when they attack the Thurles right flank. You know, they just seem to be able to put some of the half-backs under pressure that they're flapping at the ball. But that time, DC, as he's known in Thurles, put his hand up and caught that ball and won himself a free. And that's a statement. I think we're going to need to see a little bit more of that, because when the ball comes down on that Kiladangan half-forward line, they're very good at recycling that ball and winning it.
And just as we were speaking there, Aidan McCormack took a free from, again, about 70 yards out in by the line, but he put that to the left and wide. And now we have a substitution for Thurles. Cathal Maloney, who we've seen plenty of in the championship today, has come on. He's replacing Mickey Cahill there. Mickey put in a big shift. He's a man moving on in age, but you couldn't tell that from his performance there over the last 51 minutes or so. But Cathal Maloney is in now for the last 9 minutes of this thriller of a game. The ball is pucked out now, brilliantly taken. Ronan Maher does it again. The adrenaline is up. He shoots that one in. It's dropping short though. Who is in under that? Has Creedon got it? Yes, he has. Creedon with a shot. One hand on the Hurley. Manages to put that over the bar. Very good score from Creedon. Brilliant take from Ronan Maher. And Thurles are flying at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it was a let-off, to be honest with you, because Paddy Creedon collected that just on the right-hand side of the Kiladangan goals. And swung, and to me he looked like he was being held, but if he hold on for another second, he may have, number one, got a shot away at goal, or number two, won a free, but look, he'd be happy to take the score.
2-12 to 117. Thurles Sarsfields a point up by they're 2 points up at this stage. Either way, 51 minutes gone here, coming up on 52 minutes, and it's Alan Flynn who has it. Alan Flynn breaks out. Alan Flynn is between the 265, the number 6 for Kiladangan, gives that outside as far as Willie Connors. Willie, good vision out of Willie, gives it as fire as Ty Gallagher. Ty gives it in as far as Joe Gallagher. Joe Gallagher now is inside the 45, has a bit of time and space, gives a little dummy, gives a little show and go, then takes his shot, but that one goes to the right and wide. Possibly had a small bit more time than he realised, but he put that to the right and wide.
Yeah, and I thought he'd have taken that shot on his right, because he just stopped to, I suppose, gather, give himself a little bit more time on it. He was being chased at the time and took a shot on his left, and it just drifted off left.
52 gone here, 2-12 Kiladangan, 117 Thurles Sarsfields, and it's Kiladangan now who have it. Their number 15, Paul Flynn, all the way back in his own half-back position, plays that across the field as far as Brian Malotney, the man who has 1-2 already today, but Brian is beaten to that one, and out comes Paul Maher over there. He feeds that one forward, but Thurles looked like they may have lost it here. It's gone to ground. There's 4 or 5 people involved in that. Cathal Maloney, who's come on there, tries to get a boot in there, and it's gone out over the line. It's going to be a line ball. And it's going to be a line ball to Thurles. It looks like, yes, it is. Line ball to Thurles on the far side of the field. 2-12 to 117. About 7 minutes of normal time left in this one.
Yeah, look, you see how tight this game is. It's a really good, even contest. Every decision is important. Every ball is important. Every breaking ball is important. So this line ball to Thurles is a bit of relief and allows them to set up another attack here. And it's just, the quality of the contest here is fabulous. It's exactly as we predicted, or we were hoping for at the beginning of the match.
Dangerous line ball dropping in around the square. Thurles having a shot coming in. Was Maher. Maher was blocked. Too many Kiladangan men. Still Maher. Maher goes low. Intelligent shot. It lost a bit of the power. He went low to try to avoid all the hurleys, but it also meant it lost power. Barry Hogan read it all the way though and wins himself a free. Intelligent play from both sets of players there.
Yeah. Look, fantastic primary take by Dennis Maher, and he was bottled up and won the ball back again. I would have fancied some kind of a strike over his head or look for somebody, but he took on what was a goal shot. To me, it was never on, but look, it's easy for me to say that up here.
And now Kiladangan are on the march again. They've worked the ball inside the 45. A brilliant defending back there by David Corbett. Corbett tries to get that, and he eventually gets it up the second time. High tackle there in around the face. The referee says play on though, and the ball is in right on the 45 now. The Kiladangan 45, but Thurles are coming charging out with that, and they won themselves a free. The referee made them work hard to get that free. Eventually, what was it for? Was it for charging? It's a free out anyway.
He was being held. It looked like Cathal Maloney was being held, and he's having an immediate impact of the game. And that's, I suppose, the value of a bench. We're looking at a really significant substitution about to happen here for Thurles. But Cathal Maloney, since he's come on, has been, that's a great positive start from him. He'll be delighted with it. And of course, every team needs that energy that the subs can bring.
Absolutely huge. So about to come on, we'll talk about that in 2 seconds, just as Pa Burke takes the free for a change. They've changed free taker. Pa Burke puts that to the left and wide. But in hugely positive news, Billy McCarthy, possibly one of the most unlucky players in Tipperary club hurling, has come onto the field. He gets a huge reception from the crowd. On comes Billy for the last 5 minutes or so of this Tipperary senior semi-final, and isn't it great to see him come onto the field?
It's fantastic. Yeah, look at that man that has suffered more than most. And it's I think it's 3 years since he hurt that or had that really bad tackle, playing for his club. So it's fantastic to see him on the field, and I really hope it goes well for him. You know, that when I say it goes well, that he's healthy.
And
that's
straight
all
away, he's nearly into the play, but Stakelum took the ball off him. His teammate took the ball off him, was going through on goal. Great defending there by Kiladangan, and they managed to work it out there. Quigley goes out to the side towards Declan McGrath. Declan McGrath now of Kiladangan between the 65s. Puts that one down into the corner, trying to get a bit of space. Dan O'Mara was trying to get onto that, but Paddy Maher read the situation brilliantly and put that back to where it came from. Nice touch there though by Willie Connors to win it back for Kiladangan. Willie Connors now, he's over the 65. Still Willie out by the sideline. Not an easy angle out there. He's attempting a shot. Decides to put that one in dangerously and around the square instead. Couple of players go for that. Who's got their hand on it? It's gone to ground. The shot coming in. A couple of little blocks. Dan O'Mara now has it. Dan goes to ground. Thurles turned that over. That was a shot. Bodies went in on the line to stop that going into goal. We'll get our thoughts of Michael in 2 seconds once that ball goes out of play. And just like I say, the ball has gone out of play. There was a goal chance there.
Yeah, that was another goal chance. Absolutely fantastic block by Paddy Maher, put his body on the line. But Billy Seymour, you know, was shown exactly the kind of ambition and belief in himself. You know, I mean, you could have said a point was the easier option. It was definitely the easier option, but he wasn't going to be satisfied with that. And that's what we want. You know, we want to see the teams going for it here and having the bravery to take on those shots.
56 gone here, 117 Thurles Sarsfields, 212 Kiladangan, so 2 points in it, and it's Thurles now who have the ball. They have the ball through Paul Maher. He gives that outside. Thurles hold on to possession here. They're inside their own half. They've worked it out now through Stephen Call. Stephen Call takes a snapshot, if you will, from 65 yards out, and it had all the signs of a snapshot, unfortunately, from his point of view, as it goes to the left and wide. Barry Hogan doesn't look like he is actually in a hurry. He's not going to take his time with this one. And why should he? He's 2 points down in a county semi-final. He knows his team need a score. It goes long. It doesn't go to a man with a white jersey of Kiladangan though. On this occasion, Thurles managed to turn that over and work back as far as Paul Maher. Paul Maher sprays that out into space, looking to get Dennis Maher into the game. But he is beaten in the foot race. He's beaten easily there by James Quigley. Quigley is impressive, but he was half hooked with his clearance and has to kick it forward onto Flynn. Here comes Flynn, Alan Flynn, the centre back from way out on the sideline. The shot comes in, the crowd rise behind that, but they stay silent, which tells us that has gone to the left and wide.
Yeah, and you know the shot didn't work out for him, but like that's their centre back, Alan Flynn, literally taking a shot on the 45-yard line at full tilt. You know, and it just shows that, you know, how well Alan is playing at the moment, and he's really had a great year for both his club and county, and he's playing his heart out there today.
Alan has 6 points so far in the championship. He's well able to take them scores. We've seen him get some great ones in the championship, and it looks like we might have had a sub there. Martin Minahan, I think, might have come in for Kiladangan, but we'll watch the play for a second. You can't take your eyes off it to do any of the usual paperwork we'd usually get done in a match. Such has been the intensity of pace of this one, and now it's Thurles on the attack, but it's been well run back there by Kiladangan as they clear it out. 212 to 117, 57 coming up on 58 minutes gone here now as Thurles have it through Stephen Call. Stephen goes over to 65, he feeds it on, still Thurles on the attack, driving here through Maloney. Maloney takes on his man, receives a big shoulder. He did kind of play for it though. The referee agrees with me and doesn't give a free straight away, and Kiladangan hold on to that one, and they start to come out now. They're over their own 45. Willie Connors, Willie steadies themselves and puts that. It's 1-on-1 now inside the square. It's Paddy Maher against Dan O'Mara. Paddy looks like he has that. Yes, he has. He doesn't get it though until the second attempt, and Kiladangan do very well there. Dan O'Mara mightn't have the hurling of Paddy Maher, but he did very well there to win himself a free.
Yeah, he stayed in it, and you know, it looked like Paddy was after getting out in front and getting his hands on the ball, but not so, and Dan O'Mara didn't certainly give in for a second, and you know, engineered the ball to pop up loose, and I think it was Brian Mallochny was interfered with there, or deemed to have been interfered with, so he's getting a free in a very scoreable position.
So here comes Brian in the middle of the D. Brian puts that one over. He took the free for a change, so it's 1 goal and 3 points now for Brian Mallochny. It's 117 Thurles Sarsfields. It's 2-13 Kiladangan. So just a point in this one with 1 minute of normal time to go, and the ball now was in the hands of Paddy McCormick of Thurles. Just a point in this one. A dangerous lead in hurling by anyone's standard. And that ball is pucked out. Aidan McCormick is out onto that for Thurles. Doesn't manage to get it the first time. The ball has now gone to ground again. About 4 players involved in this, trying to get it up off the top soil. Still kicking and dragging. I think it's eventually kicked out of play there by Conor Stakelum. So we're going to have a line ball to Kiladangan, and Willie Connors comes over and gets that as quick as he can. He's back inside his own half between the 65 and the 45. Plenty of roaring and shouting going on down on the sideline between both sets of mentors. And here comes Willie now. Willie goes up the line, up along the narrow side, puts it over Joe Gallagher's head, but Kiladangan hold on to it there through the man who's come on not too long ago, the number 18, I think it was. And here we go again. We're driving forward. Kiladangan. Flynn from about 13 yards out. Flynn on his left hand side, and Flynn puts that over the bar.
Yeah, fantastic score, and a hugely important score for Kiladangan. And in fairness to the sub there, Tom O'Mara got out in front, got that ball in his hand, immediately turned and took on the Thurles defensive lines, popped a great pass over to Paul Flynn. Paul makes no mistakes from those angles.
And we're all square here again. You can hear the crowd roaring and shouting as Thurles come on the attack here, trying to get the ball up the first and second time. He eventually does get it up, and now we've worked it over there as far as Paddy Crean. Paddy Crean goes short this time, though, as far as Dennis Maher. Dennis Maher has 3 men around him, tries to feed that outside. Still Thurles, here we go again. The shot coming in from at the edge of the D, but an absolute, that was, I don't know what that was. The referee says it was an attempt at a tackle. The referee lets it go on. As the point go over, Thurles put that one over the bar, and they're into the lead again.
Yeah, it's a 1 point game here. That everything is so important. Every play, every ball, every break, and both teams, in fairness to them, they're really hugely going for it here.
Aidan McCormick with that last score after being probably fouled, and it goes down the other end of the field, and the shot is coming in there by Flynn. Paul Flynn puts that one right just to the left of the post. The umpires had a long look at it, but it goes to the left and wide. And we still have 2-14 to Kiladangan, 1-18 to Thurles Sarsfields. It's all go here, really, as the ball now is in the hands of Barry Hogan in the goals down, or sorry, so Paddy McCormick in the Thurles goals. Paddy McCormick now launching this one, launching it down on top of Paddy Creedon is who he's aiming for. It's gone over his head now, though. It's well taken back there. Who's going to get it? Thurles have looked like they have the numbers in there, and they've managed to win it back through Stakelum. Stakelum is facing a white wall in front of him, though. Take too many steps as the referee, and here is a free for Kiladangan. They're a long way out from goals, but Willie Connors is going to take it looks like. Here comes Willie. He's about 5 or 6 yards out off the 45. 2-14 Kiladangan, 1-18 Thurles Sarsfields. So we've a lot going on down now inside in the square. Where is Willie? We're going to go with this. We're actually going to be stopped for a minute, I'd imagine, as there's a player getting a bit of treatment potentially.
Yeah, I'm just watching the ref there. John is adjusting his watch and he's coming back to check out what happened to Conor Stakelum. And play has gone on. As
Willie puts that one, everyone he has, trying to drop that dangerously inside. It's dropped around the 14. Who's onto it? Is it a blue jersey? Is it a white jersey? It's still on the ground. Hard to tell who has it just yet. It looks like it's a blue jersey. It looks like they're driving out their own defence, but the ball has gone to ground again on the edge of the D. Thurles a point up in this game. 62 minutes gone. The referee is calling for the ball. What's he going to do with it? Possibly a throw in on the edge of the D on the Kiladangan attacking side of things. Well, I thought he was going to give the cross there as if it was over. He's just telling the lads to move away. I need a bit of space to throw in the ball. This one is tension filled. 62 and a half minutes gone. 1-18 Thurles, 2-14 Kiladangan. And the ball has been won back to Kiladangan. Take a shot, comes in. It's kind of low. It's kind of light. Is it making its way in? It's not. It's dropped there, and Thurles looks like they've regained possession over there in the far side of the field. There's 2 Thurles men now tackling each other almost, trying to get the ball up, but they've done enough to try and clear the ball, clearing it out down the field into a man with plenty of space. That man is Paddy Creedon. He skips past his man. He's onto the 65. He's all on his own. He shoots that one. Is it accurate? The crowd seem to like that. You can hear it from here. You can hear it from all parts of Tipperary. That went over the bar, and just as it went over the bar, it's all over. It's all over. Thurles have done it. They have knocked the county champions out of it. Kiladangan hadn't lost a game in nearly 2 years, but Thurles have come to Semple Stadium. They have done it. They've put that hoodoo to bed. 2-14 Kiladangan, 1-19 Thurles Sarsfields. What a game.
Yeah, look, what a spectacle for us, the neutrals here watching this. And in all of that, we're just after missing Paddy Creedon's finishing point, and what a lovely score it was for Paddy as well. And that's his third in the second half and 2 in the first half. That's 5 points from play for the young fella. So, what a game both teams have given us here today. In fairness, that last attack, anything could have happened. It was entrenched up there just between the Sarsfields full back line and half back line. Throw in ball. It's all about who gets their hands on the ball in those situations. And nobody did at the time, and it got kicked out to the sideline. And I think young Dara Stakelum got possession of it. And they were very happy to move that ball up along the wings. But what a game, and what a spectacle, and what a battle.
It ebbed and flowed. Thurles were all over at certain times. They were really down at other times. What does it say about this Thurles team, and what will they have learned for it going forward? We see Ronan Matter out there hugging his brother. They're going to get a huge boost from this. How does this set them up going forward into the final?
Look, these are the matches, and off air before this game took off, we were just talking about the quarterfinals, and really and truly there were 3 of the 4 games were one-sided enough events, whereas the Borris Mullinahone game was an absolute cracker and had us all stuck to the screens or the match, whichever you were at. We were hoping for a match like today, that kind of a top quality game, and we got it in spades, to be fair to both teams. You're talking about champions here playing contenders, and what a spectacle both of them gave up. And I think, to be fair, Kiladangan will be so disappointed going home to Kiladangan and Puckane and Ballycommon this evening, but they can be very, very proud of that team. That's a fabulous young team. And they used their bench, and they fought to the very last whistle. There was nothing in it. Like, it was a 1-point game, and they were the ones pressing to try and get a draw. And to me, it looked, it was, we were heading for extra time. But that last play, it swung for Thurles. They ended up getting a score out of it when the ball came down the field, but there was literally nothing in it. And what a great contest right through.
Kiladangan, we'll just touch on them a second because they've had such a brilliant last couple of years. We talked about it as well off air. Their junior C's, I think, are in the North final. Their junior B's won the North final. Their B team made to the quarter final in the Seamus Arena. Their A team are here. Their A team, of course, hadn't been beaten in so long. Like, what an achievement that club has done for the last couple of years. It's no shame going out today to a team like Thurles.
No, absolutely not. And for me, if that game was played against tomorrow, Kiladangan could well win it. There's nothing between these two teams. They are two of the top teams that we have in Tipperary. And you know what? We won't throw any doubts about what we're going to see tomorrow. But that kind of a game that we're after seeing here today would have been a fabulous finale to the county had they met in the county final. But look, we got a chance to see them here on semi-final day. It's knockout hurling. Thurles Sarsfields go through. And there's loads to talk about in that game. Not least to see the player down underneath us there, Billy McCarthy, getting on for 5 or 6 minutes, and how much that'll mean to him. But look, I'm looking out there and I'm looking at the body language and I suppose the bodies of the Kiladangan guys, and look, it's a horrible place to be for anyone, and to be so near, and it's such a cruel game at times, because they've been very worthy county champions. Won a fantastic final last year against Lochmore right at the death, and have been playing super hurling all year long for us.
Just, you mentioned it there with the other semi-final, of course, live on Tipp FM and on Tipperary GATV tomorrow. Borrisoleigh up against Lochmore. After seeing what you saw there, and I suppose maybe put that out of your head even for a second, what are you expecting from tomorrow's game?
I'll tell you, if it's anything like what we're after getting here today, it'll be a fabulous game, and I do expect it to be a fabulous game. And that's the beauty of what we get at this time of the year. You get teams pitched against each other, they're neighbours, yet they're in different divisions. They have a history that it's like some subplots there. John Ryan, that plays right wing back for Lochmore, lives in Borrisoleigh. So like I like all these guys. They know each other so well. They live so near each other. They're friends off the pitch, and they know each other so well on the pitch. So I'm expecting a massive battle again tomorrow. We have the champions of 2019, Borrisoleigh, who gave us such a year. Having won that county final. We followed them all. Everyone in Tipperary got behind them, and they won up their way through the Munster Club Championship, and some memorable scores, memorable days. Beating the Cork guys down in Parky Ring was just a fabulous spectacle. Or was it the Waterford guys? I think it was the Waterford team, and. We're expecting that they're going to bring all of that tomorrow, and of course, we know what Lochmore bring. With the quality they have, with them, underpinned with all the McGraths, and and I think between brothers and relations, it must be half the team connected to each other or more, and the quality they bring in the attack is just probably unparalleled in the county. And the questions will be for Borrisoleigh, can they ask the hard questions at the back end, and put those Lochmore backs under pressure, and coming with the twin towers that we fondly call the Niall and Conor Kenny, like they possess a huge threat, and I'm only mentioning those two. There's several threats from all over the field. That Borrisoleigh team, have quality all over them, so we're expecting a great game, Paul.
If I force you to give me a prediction in a word?
Earlier on this week, I would have had a fancy for Lochmore. I don't know should I change it, but my sway is going a little bit towards Borrisoleigh as I get nearer to it, because I believe I understand Lochmore may have an injury to Brian McGrath. He may or may not play. He'll be a huge loss if he doesn't play. Look, there's no better club in the county than Lochmore to give the very best they have, and I've been very impressed with with their bench too. The chaps the young fellas that they've been bringing through. They look like they're a carbon copy of the players that are coming off. Intelligence, use of the ball, calm under pressure, and fight you for everything. So I think regardless, Lochmore will give everything that they've got to go forward here tomorrow, because the prize is huge. The prize is to play on county final day, and it's such an honour for any club that reaches that. And so now after today we know who's the Thurles Sarsfields have gone through, but the debate and the competition left is tomorrow's other semi-final.
The thoughts there of Michael Ryan of Upper Church. Thank you very much for your company today, Michael. Thanks very much to everyone who's been involved in bringing this to you, both with Tipperary GATV and Tipp FM. The final, I've been Paul Jenkins. The final score here is Kiladangan 2-14, Thurles Sarsfields 1-19.